although he needs no introduction, that was Sri Vijay Goel, General Secretary, Prabari of Assam, giving you a complete wrap-up of the election preparedness, campaigning, and the polling process from Assam. He's just returned, and it was only appropriate that he gave you a complete picture of what happened there. We've heard that today the government has passed the Shunglu Committee report to the Ministry of Home Affairs. We straight have just two questions. Why is there a delay in taking action on the findings of Shunglu Committee report? We are very worried that this delay, like the way in which 2G related matters were handled by the government, the delay is going to cause a lot of evidences being removed, losses of files, people giving an impression that they can get away scot-free without much action happening. Already, during the last 1 week, we saw how the public are outraged by ineffectual action or ineffectual steps being taken to fight corruption. Now, this delay in relation to the findings of Shunglu Committee is only reinforcing that. The government should immediately come out with a clear time frame to say when they're going to start action against the people who have been found guilty or who have been indicted by the Shunglu Committee. The Delhi government, of course, has been repeatedly said in the various pages of Shunglu Committee's report, the Delhi government has been held responsible for the several omissions and commissions. I think it's high time the government showed its will to fight corruption by taking action on the basis of Shunglu Committee report. Again, the government's half-hearted approach or having no heart at all on the matter of getting an effective Lokpal bill is coming out. We all observed how, in the context of Anna Hazare coming out, and which served like a magnet for the people to come out against failure of the government to fight corruption. The Congress is not having its heart in this matter fully. That's very clear. And there are several instances to prove it. To choose Sri Kapil Sibal to go and negotiate with Mr. Anna Hazare itself smacks that they are not really fully in this matter to fight against corruption. Here's a minister who spoke that there was no scam at all and no loss at all. And that minister was chosen to negotiate in getting an effective draft bill for fighting against corruption. Step 2, the same person has been appointed, minister he is, appointed into the committee which is going to be drafting. Drafting what we hope will be an effective bill to fight against corruption. And the third step, which we observe with great deal of worry, is the minister has started saying things like the way he did when the 2G was still flaring up. Say one thing today, retract tomorrow. That has been his style. The kind of comments Mr. Kapil Sibal is making, even as the first meeting is scheduled for 16th April, does not instill confidence that the government or the Congress party is working to get a meaningful consensus. It doesn't give us the picture that they are working to facilitate consensus both outside and in the parliament. It looks as if they are going in for a route of confrontation. Do they want consensus or confrontation? Why do they comment when even the first sitting has not taken place? And comment in such a way that doubts are being raised on the intention of the Congress party and the intention of the government. Do all the comments made by Mr. Kapil Sibal and also the suspicions and doubts raised by Mr. Salman Khurshid reflect the view of the Congress party? I think it's high time the Congress party openly says it is committed to get an effective bill. The kind of statements which are coming from the responsible ministers who have been nominated into this committee does not instill confidence that they're working to get consensus. BJP has sent a study team to Jammu and Kashmir to study the issues which are worrying the people of all parts of Jammu and Kashmir. They will talk to everybody and anybody who believes that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of this country. They will certainly deal with the whole matter of understanding the grassroots level issues there with the spirit of insaf or insaniyat. That will be the guiding principle. And end of 2 months, they've given themselves 2 full months. And at the end of the second month, they hope to give a vision document to the president of the party and give a complete picture of how the issue of Jammu and Kashmir can be handled for a better integration of Jammu and Kashmir into the mainstream and also remain as an integral part of this country. The team consists of, it is headed by Sri Rajnath Singh Ji, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, Sri Shahnawaz Hussain, Sri Jagat Prakash Nadda, Dr. Maya Singh, and Dr. J.K. Jain constitute the team. We like to draw your attention to one other very worrying development during the election campaign. All of you all have been closely following the way in which campaign has happened in the southern states. There has been a helicopter politics, a very interesting politics, which certainly reveals, like the way in which the delay in taking action according to the Shunglu Committee report, and the way in which Congress party is responding to the Lokpal draft bill which has got to be worked out. All this is being spearheaded by the Congress party's arrogance. This helicopter politics is also an outcome of the Congress party's arrogance. The leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, Sushma Ji Swaraj, is on a campaign in Kerala and in Tamil Nadu, and all of you all know about it. Her helicopter was not even allowed to land, although it was a pre-planned, well-informed, much notified trip. In the name of Prime Minister's helicopter also passing by in that area, her helicopter was not allowed to land in a campaign, for a campaign which was much well in advance scheduled. Similarly, the helicopter of Sri Narendra Modi, Gujarat Chief Minister, starting from Bangalore and going to Calicut, was also not even allowed to take off. He had to wait in Bangalore for 5 hours and reach the venue full 5.5 hours later, and the people were made to wait. These are not instant or impromptu decisions. Decisions to move from one place to another in the campaign trail are very well advanced or well announced, well in advance announced. Attempts to stop leaders of their stature from moving from one place to another is a clear attempt and a result of total frustration in the mind of a party which is probably preparing for a mass-scale defeat. Congress party's attitude towards electoral campaign has to be more democratic. They should now understand that they cannot stop people from hearing what is being said by the opposition. Clearly, you saw the outcry of the public as a result of what has happened due to the stonewalling of the Lok Sabha during the winter session. You failed to answer the elected representatives. The people have themselves come out today. Thank you.
Nirmala ji, when whom you describe as modern Gandhi, Anna, when he has accepted Kapil Sibal, what's your problem?
Our problem is about the way in which his comments are misleading the public.
Which problem?
The comment, the last 2-3 days, I can even read out the comments that he's made.
Yeah, please.
If a poor kid doesn't have the means to go to school, I'm quoting. If a poor kid doesn't have the means to go to the school, how can the Lokpal bill help? If a poor man can't get a sick child to a hospital without seeking help from the politicians, how can the bill offer any succor? If there's a need for water or sanitation, can the Lokpal bill be of any help? Further, those who didn't even have a landline phone earlier now have mobile phones. 70 crore Indians now have mobile phones, and it didn't come from Lokpal bill or any such legislation. Further, Sri Salman Khurshid continues to speak in the same spirit, lacking of belief in the effective Lokpal bill. I'm quoting here. In principle, we support the Lokpal bill, but the question is how consensus be built on the issue between all political parties and then in the parliament. That's one of the quotes. There are very many more.
What do you find objectionable in any of them?
Objectionable is the fact, no.
Do you think the Lokpal bill is the solution of all the corruption issues?
Lokpal bill is one of the ways in which one can fight corruption. And after a public outcry today, attempts are being made to get an effective Lokpal bill, which will be useful in fighting corruption.
So why did
At this stage, let me just finish. You asked me a question, let me answer it.
why did you do it?
Oh, we didn't at least cover up on corrupt practices in 5 years. We have not even done anything to justify corruption or to cover up corruption. In the last 1 year, Congress's attempt is not only to come up with a series of fantastic, unbelievable levels of corruption, but also there is an attempt to cover them up. So let us not compare this with that.
So there was no corruption before?
So, I have not answered your first question. Are you interested in getting an answer for that? I have not answered your first question. Are you interested in getting an answer for that? Mr. Kapil Sibal's comments, therefore, and subsequently also being spoken by another minister, where you're trying to undermine the importance of a bill for which the people have come out fighting. We want a bill which will be effective. At this kind of time, to come out with statements which lead to doubts in the mind of people does not encourage at all the situation. And therefore we find it objectionable. And therefore we find it objectionable because even earlier, a minister who had said there's no scam at all, a minister who had said there's no loss at all, doesn't that tell you that there is a, attempt to mislead? We cannot undermine efforts in the fight against corruption.